so much for joining me back here. I'm back at my parents' house. This is where I first started. If you've been with my channel for a while, this is it. No bookshelves. All my books are at home. I brought a select few. So yeah, my hair is a mess. I'm still in my pajamas. It's kind of chilly here in West Virginia, so I'm in my sweater. I'm not used to this kind of weather. I guess I've got accustomed to Georgia weather. And even though, you know, it might be 80 here and 80 back home in Georgia, the 80s are different. I don't know. Georgia heat is just different, I guess. Just southern heat in general. Anyways, today we are going to be doing the 20 questions book tag. I haven't read through all the questions, so I'll probably have to think about some of them. But from what I did see, most of them are fairly simple and easy, so it shouldn't take very long. So yeah, let's get into it. Question number 1, how many books is too many books in a book series? How many times can we say books? Anyways, I don't know, 5 or 6 maybe. 7 is too many. 6 might be too many, but it depends. It depends on if they're consecutive or if they're like add-ons, you know, whether it be a prequel or somebody else's story that's not part of the main story plot, you know, that kind of thing. Main story plot, 5 or 6 is good. You know, 7 is too many for me. Question number 2, how do you feel about cliffhangers? I like them, particularly within series, but not necessarily at the very end of a storyline. So like the last book in a series, I don't necessarily want to end on a cliffhanger. I want it resolved in some kind of way. I'm not saying I have to have all of the answers, but I would like for, you know, for there to be a pretty solid ending. Ethan and I had this discussion. We finished reading The Hunger Games together finally, and while that series does not end on a cliffhanger, it's still not completely resolved. There are a lot of questions you have at the end. I'm okay with that. I don't mind to have questions. I just want some kind of solid ending. Question number 3, hardback or paperback? Paperback. Question number 4, favorite book? Come on now. What kind of question is this for a booktube channel? I'm gonna get heat for this. My favorite series is Harry Potter. Regardless of what JK does, it's still a good story. I enjoy it. One of my favorites to reread within that series, my favorite is Half-Blood Prince. I wouldn't say it's my favorite book though, if that makes sense. I'm a big fan of The Help. I need to reread it. It's been a couple years since I've read that one. Hunger Games is one of my favorite series. You know, a bunch of stuff from like my middle school era that really shaped my reading experience. Yeah, I don't know what else to say other than those. I don't really have like a definite favorite. 5, least favorite book. Listen, I feel like I've answered this question before. A Door in the Wall. I have no idea who the author is or anything like that. If you are familiar with Battle of the Books, it's like a book competition for school-age children. I did it in middle school and elementary school. No, elementary school. It was in middle school too. Yeah, it was in middle school because I'm pretty sure I read this book in middle school. So, like a group of kids get together, they have selected books for the county. The county selects a certain number of books in those books. And the kids have to read through them and kind of remember as much as they can about them. And then all of the schools meet collectively and have a competition. And you answer questions about the books and stuff like that. So I had to read this book. Whew, that lighting can't make up its mind. It's cloudy here today in West Virginia. Yeah, so anyways, you get together and you answer these books, and I had to read this book for that competition. And I wanted to rip my brains out. It was so boring. I have mentioned this before on my channel. I remember this guy just describing himself whittling for like 10 pages straight. So boring. Don't recommend it. Question number 6, love triangles, yes or no? Kind of. The books that I have read that have love triangles in them I enjoy. I like romance in books just in general. I particularly like romance within other genres. I don't strictly read romance really anymore. I did a lot in middle school. As I've gotten older, I like it incorporated within other genres. But when it comes to love triangles, I've mentioned this before too, they kind of make me sad. I'm the type of person that I root for both of them at the same time somehow, whoever it may be. I see the good in both of them, and I kind of see how they could work out with the main protagonist is usually who it is, you know, with the triangle point, I guess you could say. So yeah, I do like love triangles, but at the same time, they make me kind of conflicted. Question number 7, the most recent book you could finish. Ooh, hold on. Let me check Goodreads. I think I know. Let me make sure. Okay, yeah. The Crown of Feathers by Nikki Preto, however you say it. It's not that I didn't enjoy this book. I tried to listen to it on Scribd on audiobook, and it's just not an audiobook kind of book for me. I feel like I would enjoy it a lot more if I was physically reading it. So yeah, that was my last DNF. Not because I didn't enjoy it, it just was too much for an audiobook for me. Question number 8, a book you're currently reading. I am reading 2 books currently. Midnight Sun, and it's one of the Narnia books. I just started it. Oh, I'm listening to Phantom of the Opera on Scribd as well. And Prince Caspian, which is one of the Narnia books. So I'm reading 3 books right now. So far, Prince Caspian is kind of at the bottom. I haven't been reading that one as much as the other 2. Question number 9, last book you recommended to someone. Pretty sure it was The Handmaid's Tale. Excellent. So good. One of my favorite reads of the year so far. 10, oldest book you've read, publication date. I would say Beowulf. Beowulf is one of the oldest texts known. So I had to read that for class when I was an undergrad, so probably Beowulf. 11, newest book you've read, Midnight Sun. It just came out this month. 12, favorite author. I don't have one. I don't know, this is like the favorite book question. I just don't have one. I don't really have a preference when it comes to authors. If I like the story, I like the story. I've read some books by authors that I really enjoyed, and then I tried to read, a different book or series by them and didn't enjoy it at all. Amanda Hocking is one of those authors for me. I really enjoyed her Trill series back when I was in high school. I recently tried to read through her Water Song series, and it just wasn't for me. So I don't really have a favorite author. 13, buying books or borrowing books. This one's tricky for me. I used to, if you'd asked me before, I would have said buying books. I used to buy books way too much. Here lately, I have been more into borrowing them. I've really been into Scribd here lately. Just, paying that fee or whatever a month and then getting to read the books but not actually having them on my shelf. That's the thing for me, is if I read a book, I like having it on my shelf as kind of like a trophy, I guess you could say. I can look at my shelf and see how much I've read, whereas when you borrow books or when you read ebooks, you can't do that. But it's not so much of a pull for me to have that trophy on my shelf that it keeps me buying them. So here lately, I would say borrowing them. I recently got the Libby app too, so that's very helpful. So yeah, I guess kind of both. Here lately, I've kind of moved more into the mindset that I'll buy the books that I enjoy and I actually want on my shelf. And I actually plan on doing an unhaul once I get back to Georgia. Just getting rid of books that either I don't plan on reading or I DNF'd and don't plan on finishing, that kind of stuff. 14, a book you dislike that everyone seems to love. I feel like I've answered this one before too. Not recently, like last year, I tried to read Stalking Jack the Ripper. I didn't make it very far in at all, just a couple of chapters, but it wasn't for me. And a lot of people really enjoy that series, but again, it wasn't for me. 15, bookmarks or dog ears? Listen, bookmarks for my own books, for entertainment books, for pleasure books. When I was in college, I dog-eared the crap out of my books, especially if I was going to write a paper on that particular text or book, whatever it was, poem, whatever. I would dog-ear certain pages that had, like important information that I wanted to use for my paper or something like that. I just found it so much more convenient than using tabs or something. So yeah, if I'm, reading something academically, dog ears. For pleasure, bookmarks. 16, a book you can always reread. Twilight. I feel like a broken record at this point, my last couple of videos, but I do reread through that series every couple of years. That and Harry Potter and The Hunger Games. Those 3 series were all very much a part of my reading journey, I guess you could say. Back when I really started reading in middle school, that's when I really started reading for pleasure. And I feel like I read all 3 of those series back to back to back, and it's really what inspired my love for reading. So every couple of years I'll read through them, This year it was Twilight and The Hunger Games, actually. I read through Harry Potter last year. So yeah, I reread those 3 series kind of in a loop. 17, can you read while hearing music? No. No, to the point where if I'm reading, I usually do pretty good at blocking stuff out. TVs don't bother me, people don't bother me, talking, you know, all that kind of stuff is good. I'm golden. But if I'm reading and my parents are watching TV or Ethan's playing a game or something like that, and music comes on just on like a commercial or something, like I have to stop until it's gone. Like, I don't know what it is, I just cannot concentrate with music. If my, you know, if someone in my family is on their phone and, you know, a video comes on and it has music on it, I can't concentrate. So no, I cannot listen to music and read at the same time. I just can't do it. 18, one point of view or multiple point of views? I'm indifferent. Yeah, I'm really indifferent. I enjoy a lot of books that only have one. On the other hand, I enjoy getting multiple perspectives. I feel like you get a broader range of the story. You know more of what's going on if you have more than one. But overall, I don't really have a preference one way or the other. 19, last question other than the tag question. Do you read a book in one sitting or over multiple days? Over multiple days for sure, especially since I had Sam. Yeah, there's just no way I can do it all in one sitting anymore. I just have too much to do. And then 20, who do you tag? Whoever wants to. Go for it. If you do it, be sure to let me know. I'll come check it out. So yeah, that was all the questions. That was a 20 questions book tag, I think is the name of it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to subscribe down below and leave a comment. You guys are awesome. I am thankful for you. I hope you're having a good day, night, whatever it is. I hope you're doing well. I'll be here in my parents' house the next couple of months while Ethan is away. So we'll get used to my old background again. And I'll meet you back here next time, guys. See ya!